are here for our January get-together with Al Joseph, the Main Street Coordinator for the City of Georgetown 2025 here. Can you believe it? It has been a busy 2024, and I guess you're going to have a busy 2025, which we'll talk about. But I want to talk about Christmas first. Christmas in Georgetown was great. From the ice skating rink to the tree lighting ceremony to the parade, just everything that happened in the City of Georgetown. It was great. What kind of feedback did you get?
All positive. All positive. Same thing as you're saying, Scott. It was magical this year. I mean, it's great every year. I don't know what. It just had a different feel this year.
Well, you had great weather too.
That's true.
For every event.
Well, the tree lighting was pretty.
Well, it was cold, but it wasn't raining.
No rain. The parade was beautiful. The skating rink weather was great. All the events at Kaminsky House, the Yuletide home tour was a huge success. So everything that happened was just fantastic. But man, I'm telling you, it was nonstop.
Well, I'll tell you what, and I bet you already got in the back of your mind 2025 Christmas, I bet.
Absolutely. I actually was talking, I had a phone conversation with the company that did the tree lighting this year. Now, granted, we have to put it out for bid every year, but one decision we made last year, I called Mayor Giroux, and several of the merchants have asked me to keep the lights up for a little while. So we are going to keep all the trees lit through the end of January.
Well, that's cool. So if you want a little bit of Christmas still, you can drive up and down Front Street.
Winter in Georgetown.
And winter in Georgetown.
Now, we will be taking the lighted garland off the light poles next week, but the trees will stay lit through the end of January, which will be a nice ambiance on Front Street for another month. And so, yeah, we're already thinking about Christmas 2025 and what we can do to improve on what we did this year.
And have you extended it more on West Front Street across Fraser and West Front? I just know I saw the
yeah, we did that 2 years ago.
Okay.
We extended the light poles all the way to Alex Alford.
Okay, yeah. So, well, very good. Well, thank you and everyone who helped make Christmas great in 2024. And I know 2025 is going to be just as great, if not even better.
Yeah. And you know, we're going to kick it off. We're kicking off 2025. Everybody talks about January and February, not a lot going on, usually. Not in 2025.
A lot of stuff coming up.
A lot of stuff coming up. One of the first things we've got is the Strand Theater and the Swamp Fox Players are putting on Living on the Legacy at the Strand Theater starting January 9th and running through the 19th with multiple shows with a couple of matinees. And that's going to be a fantastic musical performance. I'm really looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, it's got like music from the Beatles and
Buddy Holly.
Yeah.
And Richie Valens and a lot of the old.
And will these be actual singers singing?
My understanding
is not lip syncing, but actually singing.
Yeah, actually singing.
Wow.
Well, you know the Swamp Fox Players. If they do it, they're going to do it right.
They're going to do it good. Joe Ford, the director this time.
Yes, he is.
And he's done a lot of great productions over the years.
He has. So that's a great thing to have come to us in January, which is typically a slow month. And again, multiple performances, so we're looking forward to that. And then at the Winyah Auditorium at 7:30 p.m. on the 25th of January, there's a new nonprofit in Georgetown called Tidal Tales, Tidal, Tidal Tales. And they're going to do 4 performances at least throughout 2025. The first one is the 25th at Winyah Auditorium at 7:30. And it's going to be storytelling. And I think 7 or 8 different people, they've already chosen out of multiple entries, the 7 or 8 people that are going to get up and do a storytelling time, 5 minutes apiece. They're also going to have a musical component to it. So that's going to be something new that sounds really exciting. I'm looking forward to going to that if I'm in town. I'm not sure if I'm in town on the 25th. But
now, is that going to be monthly or?
I think quarterly now.
Okay.
This is a brand new nonprofit. I went to their ribbon cutting at the Winyah Auditorium last month in early December. It's a great new nonprofit, and not only are they doing these performances, but at least for the first one, I don't know if the charity's going to change, but for the first one, all proceeds over expenses, over cost, is going to Habitat for Humanity Georgetown.
Wow, okay. So you can enjoy the production there and help someone maybe get a home.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the month, now this is brand new, so I don't have a lot of details, but met with Greg Metcalf, the new president, Greg Metcalf from Soko Grill, Soko Pizza, the new president of the Georgetown Business Association. We're going to be doing Restaurant Week here in Georgetown on the 27th of January through the 1st of February for a solid week.
And what's going to happen there?
You know, I don't have a lot of details. This is brand new. We already have 8 or 9 restaurants that signed on. Probably it'll be like a set menu type thing. Sometimes maybe just small plates. I'm not sure. We've got to hammer out. We've got a meeting tomorrow morning.
Okay.
We'll be hammering out some of the details on the marketing for it. So we'll be doing some planning. But we've been talking about doing a restaurant week in Georgetown for a long time. You see them all over the country, and with the reputation that Georgetown's getting as a foodie place, it's something we need to do. So this will be the first one, and it will be an annual event.
And this will be where people go to the restaurant, go inside the restaurant, unlike the event in the spring where you have all the vendors set up on Front Street.
That's right. You'll be going to the restaurants.
Okay.
And we'll be reaching out to other restaurants in the area to see if we can get them signed up. But again, even though this is brand new, less than probably 4 or 5 days that we've been planning this, we've already got 9. So we're off to a good start.
The Main Street Georgetown Facebook page will have a lot more as it gets closer.
As we get the information, again, we're meeting tomorrow with our marketing team, and we'll be discussing that. So we'll probably have them do some creative stuff for us and get some flyers and things that we can put out on social media and post in business windows. And hopefully all of those restaurants will also be promoting it as well.
Well, that is great. So yeah, I think when we talked, because it's been a couple months since we've done this because of the holidays, we didn't know of a lot of things in January, but so this has popped up over the past couple of months.
Yeah. This is almost all of this is new.
Yeah.
So I'm just so excited to see things happening. And I've said this, and you've heard me say it for years. We've got to do things in the city of Georgetown in January and February. Those are our only 2 slow months. That's our only off season. And we need to do as much as we can do for our merchants and for our residents to have them things to do. Now, that's a little cold, but that's okay.
Now, what about February? Got anything you can preview right now for
Nothing
February?
yet.
But then I bet you it's not, just like these popped up since our last get together.
Yeah.
I bet you things will pop up before we do this again in February.
Well, one thing I am doing in February, and I hope I have the date right, I think it's the 12th. I'm not 100% sure. I have to go back and look. But every year I do a merchants meeting for all of the businesses in the historic business district. And as I've said a million times, it's not just Front Street. It's the whole historic business district. And that's well over 100 businesses. People get amazed when I tell them that. But I do a merchants meeting every year, in February. And it's just an open forum. I invite all the businesses to come. We do it at the Winya Auditorium. We do it at 8:30 in the morning. The reason we do it that early is our merchants, our business owners, can come to the meeting and still open their shops on time. Also allows our restaurateurs to come because it's difficult for them to come to an afternoon meeting. And I do a quick 5 or 10 minute kind of recap, highlights of the things from the previous year, and then I sit down and I open it up. It's an open forum. Tell me your suggestions, tell me your ideas, tell me what we did well, tell me what we didn't do well that we can do a little better. Give me suggestions on things that we can add to the things that we're already doing. It's an open forum for our business community to tell me what we need to do.
And that's going to be in February.
It's going to be February. I think it's February 12th.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, at 8:30 in the morning.
And you're going to make that an annual event?
It is an annual event. This will be the 3rd one that I've done.
Okay.
I do it every year. I've done it since I got this job, and I've gotten some great feedback and some great ideas. Some of the things that we've implemented over the years have come from this meeting. And it just gives, and again, it's an open forum. It's as informal as you can get. I sit there and just let them talk to me, and it's a back and forth dialogue. And we always get some great ideas and some great feedback.
Let me ask you about new businesses. I know we've got some that'll be opening soon.
Yeah, well, we had one that just opened 2 weeks ago. Many of the folks here in Georgetown will remember Alfresco Bistro and Eddie Chacon when he was on Front Street. Tragically lost that business to a fire a few years ago just because of the lack of availability of a restaurant in Georgetown. He had to move to Pawleys Island. He is now back in Georgetown at the former Marker 42 Cantina location. Had a grand opening 2 weeks ago, and I've been there twice, and it's just doing fantastic. And to have Eddie Chacon back in Georgetown is a blessing. We all missed him, and I thank Trevor Day and Trevor's team and his partners for making that happen and bringing Alfresco Bistro back to Georgetown. And as of today, they're open for lunch.
Okay. Yeah, and I saw a lot of posts on Facebook from people at Pawleys Island that were not as happy as we are.
Yeah.
Here in Georgetown.
Yeah, and it was the other way around 3 or 4 years ago when he left here and had to go to Pawleys. But Eddie's had always wanted to stay in Georgetown and had always wanted to get back. So we're thrilled to have him back, and no one is more excited than Eddie Chacon.
Now you said something before we started recording about the Sea Gypsy.
Yep, the Sea Gypsy, we've been talking about that for a while. Scott Benson and his wife and Paulie's own Surf the Earth and Sea Gypsy, and they are opening what looks to be a hybrid combination of the Sea Gypsy and Surf the Earth right here on the 900 block. And last time I talked to Scott, I think we're probably looking at a first quarter 2025 opening. I have seen them in there. Anyone that's walked by have seen they've already had their windows. I don't want to say decorated, but they've got merchandise in their windows. They've got some signage, and they're working on the inside. So we'll see them open up here in the next couple of months, hopefully.
And I know there's been some work inside the old Harvest Moon ice cream next to Francis Marion Park.
Yep, that one is one of those. Thought it was going to be a quicker turnaround than it was, but ended up needing some structural work. They're replacing the entire floor. Once they get that done, then the new business that's coming in there will should be able to open pretty quick once those structural issues are addressed.
And then the former Prince George Framing Company, something's going there, it looks like.
Yep, they pull the paper, as you mentioned. They pull the paper off the windows. That building needed a lot of structural repair from foundation to roof, and that's what they've been doing for the last couple of months, or maybe a little bit longer than that. And my understanding is that the structural work is, if not finished, it's almost finished, and then they can start working on now bringing whatever that business is into it. And of course, we also had Wynyard Bay Angler open.
Yep.
I think back in November or December.
Yep.
Anyone that is a fishing enthusiast, or really just an outdoor enthusiast, be careful when you walk in that store, because you're going to leave a large part of your bank account in there. I can promise you.
Good. Yeah, and that's something that even though we've got the water right here, we really didn't have a good fishing store on Front Street.
No, but we do now.
Yeah,
we do now. I'm not a big fisherman. I enjoy fishing. I don't really call myself a fisherman. I enjoy it, but I walk in there and I have to yank myself out of there before I leave way too much money behind.
Yeah, well,
it's a great store.
Well, very good. So what else you want to chat about before we wrap this up? What else is happening throughout the year, or what can people do to help Georgetown?
One of the things I tell people all the time is I'm a one-man show. I'm it. There's no staff. Everything that you see, all the different things that we talk about, all the different promotions that we do. Obviously, the GBA does such a great job with the events, and I work with them on every one of them. But all of the other things and all the other ideas, it's hard to keep coming up with new ones. So what I would tell people is reach out to me. Most of the people in the city have my phone number anyway. If you don't have my personal number, you can go on the City of Georgetown website and find my office number and my work cell phone number and email address. But ideas, I just would love to have people sharing their ideas with me. One of the things that I'm thinking about, can't say I'm going to do it yet because I need to get some approval, but a lot of the merchants have asked me to keep the lights on the trees year round. We cannot do that.
Yeah,
it just can't be done.
Would be.
Oh man, the maintenance costs are through the roof.
Well, the bulbs would blow out.
Yeah, anytime a squirrel chews through a wire, or anytime a tree goes out, and that company's got to come back, and the cost is prohibitive.
But then wouldn't it make it less special in November when you light them up?
That's what I say. It diminishes.
If they're here every day.
Yeah. Also, it's not good for the trees. It's not good for the health of the trees to keep them wrapped. So one of the things I am looking at now is seeing if we can find some type of uplighting that we just put in the tree beds, which would softly illuminate the trees from below. And that would really make Front Street beautiful year round. And then when it comes to Christmas, we just take those out and go ahead and wrap the trees again. So that's one of the things I'm looking at. The planters on Front Street have been a huge hit. Everyone loves them. We have 31 right now, and within the next 2 weeks, we'll be adding 9 more. It's supposed to be 10 more, but one was damaged.
And I know it's a little early to talk about it, but Music in the Park, is it coming back in May?
I'm not sure about May yet. We're going to start our Music in the Park Planning Committee meetings within the next couple of weeks, and we may be changing it up a little bit.
Well, there was some chatter, and I don't know, I can't remember if it was you or who. Somebody mentioned possibly moving it from Front Street to the new pavilion at East Bay Park.
No, hadn't heard anything about that.
I didn't know if that was something that had been talked about officially, or just people.
Anything's possible, and that's what we're going to talk about. We may be moving, we may be looking, like when the TAMs come, we may move that back out on the street just because of the huge crowds. We may have to put that one back at the original location. We may be looking at another location for a couple of smaller concerts with smaller groups, local groups. So I would like, in my personal opinion, is that we start in May and go all the way through October. Unfortunately, we do. These things cost a lot of money. Most of these bands run us between $4,000 and $5,000 a piece, not counting the stage, which is extremely expensive. All the other things that we have to do. We do go to the city and we do go to the county for ATAX requests. Unfortunately, the county request this year came in much lower than it has in years past. We didn't get as much money as we had hoped, so we're just going to have to look at the budget and see what we can do.
Any plan to charge for them?
Not at this point.
Okay.
Not at this point. Probably not. I mean, everything's on the table, but it's unlikely at this point. We do have our food, beer, and wine, and gosh, is this fourth year, I think? Yeah, this will be the year 4.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. They want to set up on the street.
Right. We're moving that up this year.
When are you taking it?
I don't have the exact date, but it's going to be in late April.
Oh, okay.
Because we had it in late May, and man, it was hot. So we're going to move that up into probably around the 3rd or 4th weekend of April. We'll have a look and see what the Easter date is, and we also want to make sure that we're not coinciding with any other larger festivals like Merle's Inlet or Mount Pleasant.
And the last thing I'll ask you about this month is about parking. I know there was supposed to be a study done or something, if I'm not mistaken, about...
No, the only thing that's been done was I was asked to reach out to a company.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, the company that puts up like meters and stuff.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly,
what's the status on that?
August or the September meeting of workshop of City Council. I got that company to come in and do an informational workshop for council. My understanding, there's been no further discussion that I know of.
Well, I think people enjoyed the Christmas break of the 2-hour parking. But it's back now. Do you think that's the way we should just stay with? I mean, is it not working like it is? Do we need the meters? I mean,
I don't know that it was ever a question of need. I think it was our city council knows that we're growing. They know that we're going to keep growing, both from a residential side as well as a tourism side. And they wanted to be proactive in looking at alternatives. And that's all that meeting was. That's the only reason that company came, was to give us information and educate us on alternatives, and there has been no further conversation to my understanding.
All right. Well, it's an election year for a lot of people on council, so I'm sure it'll be talked about in some fashion
I would imagine
over the next few months.
Yeah.
Well, very good. So anything else you want to say as we wrap up?
No, just thank you to everyone. I talk about this all the time. We could not do what we do. The Music in the Park, Food, Beer, and Wine, Art, Wine Walk, Christmas events. We couldn't do them without the volunteers. It's just no way. It could not be done. And I just want to thank all the folks that are because we have an organizing planning committee for every one of these events. Music in the Park is one committee, Food, Beer, and Wine's another one, Art, Wine Walk's another one. They're all Christmas committees, a whole nother one. So all the folks that gave up their time to work hard to put those events on for the folks here in Georgetown, especially all the volunteers that gave up their time to make them happen. Just can't thank them enough, and I'll tell you, we need more.
So once again, tell us how people can get in touch with you if they want to be a help to you in the city.
Go on the City of Georgetown website, and my phone number and email address are both listed there. You can also find me on Main Street Georgetown SC Facebook page. You're welcome to message me through there. Find me as I'm up and down Front Street.
Say, you're up and down Front Street. They'll probably run into you.
Yep, and that happens quite a lot, which I love. People come up to me in a restaurant and having dinner, and they say, "I hate to bother you," and my response is, "You're not bothering me. That's my job. It doesn't end at 5 o'clock. If it's a Sunday or a Saturday, that doesn't matter. If it comes to somebody wanting to talk to me about Georgetown and making Georgetown better than it is right now, I am all ears and always open. So." Call me, email me, Facebook message me, stop me on the street. I want to hear from everybody.